Welcome to Grace. Never heard of her. I'm Gina.
And I'm Maddie. We're two moms, two friends, two overstimulated women navigating motherhood, new identities, and careers, all while challenging society's expectations and redefining what it means to do it all.
Because Grace, well, never heard of her, but word is she's worth getting to know.
Hey, look at you. Are you in a new spot?
I am. I am in my sunroom, which I feel like I always talk about. I'm on the couch. My butt is a lot comfier. I'm testing it out,
Okay.
but we'll see. This could be a new spot for me. We'll have to see. We'll have to pick up on the vibes.
All right.
Um, I woke up feeling refreshed. I was ready for a change. I had a night to myself last night.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Well, I basically spiraled out of control one day and looked at Chris and said, I can't live the rest of my life not ever knowing that there's an end in sight when it comes to taking care of our kids. I need to know there's an end date coming. So we started implementing what we're calling off-duty nights, and we're going to do it every week, the other
Okay.
person. So, like, I'll do, I'll get an off-duty night twice a month. He'll do it twice a month. And it's just exactly what it says. After the hours of work, you are free. You are not beholden to any type of childcare. It's as if you were away on a vacation or whatever. And so last night was the first night. I was ready to wring my own neck. I was so mad at myself because I was driving around. Granted, it was raining and it was dark and I needed new windshield wipers and it was a whole thing. But I was like, I miss them. And I'm like, Gina, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I know. I quickly snapped out of it.
Slap you through the screen.
I quickly snapped out of it because
Thank you.
I was like, what? Shut up. Like, you want this more than anything. So yeah, then I got over it and then I walked around Target. Walking around Target has become my like joy always. I just love it. I
Yeah.
just love it. And I'm not buying things. I'm just looking and it's quiet. And anyway, so I did that. And then I went over Katie's and we had an old school girls' night where we just sat on the couch. We watched the Love is Blind weddings, which I am assuming you don't watch Love is Blind. But once again, you're missing a cultural
Phenomenon. Do you watch Bridgerton?
So I watched the first season and loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, I have nothing negative to say. For some reason, I just fell off.
Oh my God. This season, we finished it in like a week. I mean, it's only 8
Wow.
episodes, but each episode is an hour or a little bit longer than an hour.
Wow.
Tyler and
Wow.
I binge watched it.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Okay. That tells me that maybe I need to go back. There's just so many shows.
Another one that everybody keeps saying you need to watch and like potentially even watch with your husband is Heated Rivalry.
I started that within the first, 15 minutes. It's already pretty intense.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my. Okay. Yes. So I could see why watching that with your partner is encouraged. I feel like the answer is no, but anybody who has watched this 365 days.
No, I haven't.
Wow. Okay. All I'm going to tell you is this. It is a soft breeze away from being classified as pornography. Like, it is so graphic and just like intense sex. I mean, you basically see everything except penetration. It's crazy. But
Wow.
it is so.
I mean, that's Bridgerton too, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay. So 365 days, next time you and Tyler have a date night, you guys should, watch that because it is something, I'll just say that.
Noted. Yes, we just got a date night.
Ooh.
Yes, it was I mean, I feel like last time we were chatting, I was just not in a great place,
Yeah. You
and
were
I thi
you were burning out for sure.
I was
Somebody get this girl a night off.
it's like self-destructing,
Yeah.
and yes, so we finally got some time to connect, and it's so funny because now I struggle with what do you actually do when you get time? Because you connect in such a different way now, and I was like, "I'm so sick of going out to dinner." "What, so we can eat food and look at each other?" I'm like, "What do we talk about?"
Yep. No, the conversation for me is the hardest. I'm like, "What I know everything about you. We spend every waking day and minute together." Yeah, I get it. What did you
Yeah.
guys end up doing?
We did go to dinner, and then it was funny, we were, like, exhausted, so we're like, "We don't even wanna be out," but everybody was at our house watching the kids, and they were doing bedtime, and so we were literally watching our phones to see the monitor go off of, like, when did they go to bed? Because we were ready to come home, I'm like, "I wanna go to bed." And no,
Oh
it was
god, that's
actually great.
funny.
After dinner, we, went to this cute little town, and we walked around a little bit, and then we just did dessert, which was
Love.
perfect, and so I think I want more of that. I don't need to go out for a whole meal, like, let's go out for dessert, or I was even looking into there's places around us that do board games. I'm not really like a board
That's right up my alley. I'm like, "Sign me up." That's
game.
great, though. I'm glad that you really tried to make it something even though it sounded probably better just to go to bed early.
Yes, I'm glad, uh, we got the time and kind of forced it. Oh, we went thrift shopping for a little bit, which was fun and different.
That's so fun. Look at
Yeah.
you guys.
So we're just trying to be creative because I don't know about you, but connecting with your husband post kids,
Mm.
it can sometimes feel like another chore versus
Ugh.
what it used to feel like.
Yeah, I mean, yes. There's no I have nothing to say other than yes. Chris and I talk about this a lot because it's so easy to talk about, like, "Oh, we wanna make time for each other. We wanna have date nights," or just how many times have you been told by somebody or some therapist, like, "You have to schedule time. Just schedule time with your husband." And I'm like, that doesn't feel good because to me, it feels, at that point, forced. I miss the organic, just being excited to, like, go out on a date and talk and get to know each other. Not even get to know each other because 'cause I'm talking years into the relationship, but there's just so much levity.
Mm.
And connecting for me now takes so much mental power to make sure I'm not talking about finances or our kids' sickness or upcoming trips that we need to plan for. I am so task oriented, and it's actually something that's a really, really big topic in that Chris is like, "Everything for you is just task, a check. Can we just talk? Can we just can you just be present?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I can because there's just so
Yeah.
many things." And so, yeah, the first thing that I think gets sacrificed is connection because from Chris's point of view, he's just like, "All right, I'm listening to the supervisor go through all the things that need done today." And I know that's not ideal.
I wanna ask too, because I know we keep saying connection, and I even wanna take it, I guess, a step further of, like, I know connection is a part of intimacy, but would love to hear from your perspective, how would you describe connection, intimacy now?
I feel like intimacy is a much broader term than I used to think. Anytime I heard intimacy, I would think of it strictly as physical intimacy. But I know now there's just so much more to it, emotional, really. I mean, I know what it feels like to love my husband, to be attracted to my husband, to trust my husband, to wanna spend my life with him, and feel no connection, feel, like, emotionally just on opposite planets, which right? Like, that seems crazy because 'cause you're like, "Well, if all those things that I just said are true, wouldn't that just come with it?" And so having kids quickly showed me that those are all separate from one another, like, physical attraction and all of that can be completely separate from connection. I need to feel like Chris and I are seeing each other, seeing our souls. I wanna feel heard, seen, cared for. I need to feel like we're invested in each other's well-being, and I don't want it to sound like, "Oh, so then you're just, like, not all of those things," but you get caught up in life with kids and work and the hour that you have of free time, you don't necessarily wanna give it to your partner to be like, "Tell me what's going on in your world. I wanna be an emotional safe space for you." It's like, "No, I wanna go just, like, sit and decompress for an hour." And so, there's nothing, I think, malicious or blatantly we're trying to not be supportive, but I just think it just happens, and then before you know it, it's like a week goes by. I mean, today even, I said to Chris, so I had my off-duty night last night. Tuesday night Tuesday he had to go into the city. Today he's in the city. He's gonna have a late night. Tomorrow he's gonna be gone all day. And I'm like, I I haven't talked to you. Like I legitimately we have not had a conversation more than just, hey, can you get the kids? Da 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 da. And so that is a perfect example of no, I don't feel like we have strong emotional intimacy at the moment. And so now it's up to us to find a way to create that for ourselves. So, add it to the tab.
I know. I think it goes back to what we talked about joy. It does need to be manufactured at this point, and I feel like all of the podcasts and people I've listened to or even just kinda talking through it, all of them tell you, raising kids, you are in the thick of it. It is so difficult right now,
Mhm.
and when your kids even a few years from now, they're gonna get their own independence. They are going to form their own friend groups. They're going to pull away a little bit from you, and then when they go off to college and you're an empty nester, like, you need to have a strong foundation. You need to prioritize your relationship above all else, which sounds so selfish and against everything we're taught, but it makes sense. You don't wanna have an empty house, both kids are at school, and you look over at your partner and you're like, Who are you? Who did you become? Where did you go?"
Well, and how often do we hear about couples who separate after their kids go off to college? And I could see how that could happen, to your point, because it is so
Yeah.
manufactured. It does take work. This kinda goes back to our love conversation of, oh, when we meet the right person and we're in love, it all just comes naturally. I just never anticipated, I think, how hard it was gonna be to maintain that level of intimacy. And I mean, if we are even talking about the physical side, I'm touched out by my kids. I'm overstimulated, I'm exhausted, and I talk a lot about, well, I don't even know if I talk a lot on the podcast, but at least with you, Maddie, I talk a lot
Yeah.
about ADHD, neurodivergence, which I got diagnosed late in life, but now anything I see and read, I'm like, yep, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, it all tracks now. But one of the things, especially, I'm sure this happens for a lot of women, but for especially for neurodivergent people because transitions are hard for us. Let's say, I'm done with bedtime. I put the kids down and maybe it was a bad night, screaming, crying, and I sit. If Chris gives me that look, I'm like, "Are you Like, I could not be more uninterested.
Yeah.
Truly, I'm completely in another headspace right now, and for men, it's just so easy to just get themselves in the mood, and for women, or at least like women like me, it's like, no, I need intimacy. I need emotional connection. Like I need to talk. I need you to ask me about my day and we need to connect and laugh a little and then potentially, but you know what I mean? It's just that's what I think is a common misconception is this emotional intimacy that has become so necessary for me.
I completely agree. I think by the time 8 o'clock hits and everybody is down, we're looking at each other and we're like, okay, there's dishes. The dogs need to be fed. There's still
Right.
our post kid to do list. And so it's exhausting. The other thing that you're bringing up and speaking to, and I'm so curious about, I feel like my definition and what maybe it's a reframe on kind of intimacy and what that looks and feels like to me. Tyler doing the dishes or taking care of something without having to be asked or just carrying the mental load or even the physical load of our household. To me, that is, borderline like
Wait, I'm dying because there's a word for this. There's a
is there?
term.
What is it?
Choreplay.
Chore play. Oh my gosh. But it's real. And
Yes.
exactly to your point about needing to emotionally connect and have conversations and feel seen and heard. Again, everything I keep reading is not even just physical acts or whatever that may look like, but like you almost need to be flirting with each other throughout the day. And whether it's a long hug, being playful, or just being intentional throughout the day, no longer is it that by the time you get to bed and maybe there's expectations about what you're doing, no, that ship has sailed because you didn't
Right.
do all of the things. I'm not in the mood. You didn't pursue me. You didn't make me
Yes.
feel
You bring up
desired. Yes.
desired. You bring up such a good point, and I mean, it's no secret that Chris and I have been in couples counseling for many years, and this is obviously a lot of what we talk about, and one of the biggest things is exactly what you said, is about you have to make the other person feel desired, and that involves dating them, pursuing
Yeah.
them, flirting with them, putting your best foot forward. I think it's so easy to let that all kind of go to the wayside because you are in a secure relationship. You don't have to try as hard. You know that that person's going to love you even if you roll out of bed in sweatpants. I think where I get caught up is I want to feel desired or I want to feel wanted and beautiful and sexy and I want Chris to flirt with me. Yet my confidence in myself has changed. And so it's almost like I'm looking for this affirmation or something from Chris where it's like I don't even believe it myself. The way I view my body and my appearance and my sexuality as a woman has changed since having kids. And so it's hard because vibes that I'm getting off are probably a lot more closed off, are like, hey, keep your distance. And it's not that I would necessarily want that, but it's that friction of I'm pushing you away, but no, I want you to come closer kind of thing, you know? And that has to be really confusing and stressful. Sorry, Chris.
100%. It's interesting because we were doing a similar exercise of just understanding what each other's love languages were. I don't know why I didn't grasp this before, but your love language that you want to receive is different than how you give love.
Mhm.
And so we were kind of unpacking all of that. And we got to the point where I want to receive acts of service. And then the joke was 99% of men, theirs is physical touch, pretty
Sure.
much.
Yep.
And so I think it was an interesting exercise for us to go through because back to kind of this mental load and just the day to day, acts of service for me are not, I'm like, maybe I'm getting a little greedy here, but like I'm taking out the trash. That's not an act of service. We are a partnership. This is shared responsibility. An act of
Yeah.
service for me is you going above and beyond our daily tasks and responsibilities to make me feel appreciated, seen, heard, valued for everything that I do. And I think that was a huge unlock for us. And then on the flip side, for physical touch, I'm like, well, what does that like mean or look like for you? Because yeah, some just intentional closeness on the couch where we're having conversation or even just like banter back and forth might be enough on some days. And we talk so much about communication and being direct and how nobody is a mind reader. And I think it's so hard, especially as moms and women, that it feels like another thing on your list. You don't know how to support me. You don't know what I need. Now I have to communicate exactly how to do the thing. That takes the fun out of it. It's just hard.
It is, and I'm laughing because everything you just said about love languages are the same things that we talked through. I also want to receive acts of service, and I also need it to be more than just the standard, "Hey, I'll pick up the kids." It's like, "Cool. Thanks, dad," you know? Um, for me, it's like, if for example, if Chris was going on a work trip and he said before he left, "Hey, I'm gonna leave in a couple hours. I did the dishes and I ordered groceries for you since I'm gonna be," I would pass out. I would faint. I'd be like, "Oh my God, I was so thoughtful." It's interesting because I say acts of service, but mine is almost more like thoughtfulness, because gift giving to me, I always was like, "Ew, gift givers, like, you must be so materialistic," but I would say gift giving and acts of service are my top wanting to receive, and it's because of the thoughtfulness. It's the,
Mm.
"I saw this and I knew you would love it. I was thinking of you and what you're gonna go through, so I did this thing to help you." But to Chris, his wanting to receive his physical touch. I could not be bothered. But what's interesting, and maybe this will help somebody because this really helped me, was when I hear physical touch, I hear, "I have to hold your hand. I have to be all lovey-dovey all the time." And of course, I want to do that sometimes. And in the irony that is not lost on me is that in my 20s, that was what I wanted to receive. I wanted to receive physical touch. I had a
Yeah.
boyfriend who like wouldn't hold my hand in public, and I'm like, "You're awful." Anyway, I digress. So going back to Chris, what helped me was this realization of all of these moments where a physical touch could be my hand on his shoulder, walking past him and just, right, like literal touch. It's that simple. He'd be like, "Gina, you wake up, you come downstairs and you go, 'Oh, Leo, oh, Jodo, the boys,' da, da, da," and then you go on with your day." And I'm like, "Hi, am I?" And right, it's not malicious. In my mind, I think nothing of it in the moment, but that's what it is. Like, I'm not thinking of him. Ever since that conversation, I make it a point to always go up to him in the morning and say, "Good morning. How'd you sleep?" Give him a kiss or a hug. If he's at his desk, I might just walk over, kiss him on the forehead, and keep walking. It was such a small change for me. I mean, we're talking milliseconds of a difference, but it meant the world to him. It meant the world to him. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I think we need to get creative and maybe think outside the box a little bit in like terms of what our partner needs versus making assumptions or creating this pressure of like, well, the only way they're going to be happy is if I do this or I like do this. And it's like, actually, when you really get to the core of it, it might not be that intense. It might just be, "Hey, can you just like touch me once ever on my arm or something? Like, let me know I'm here." Bar's not that high.
I'd love to know because I think my experience after becoming a mom as it relates to all of this, I think there's a lot of guilt around no longer maybe being able to live up to the standard or expectations of what your relationship used to look like, especially as it relates to their love language as potentially physical touch or just intimacy. And I think it sucks because then you start playing mind games with yourself of like, My hormones are all over the place, my body has changed. I don't feel super maybe confident in my own skin like I used to or, pre-kids, and I'm so touched out that I'm not able to be the partner my partner needs, and that's just, such a tough place to be in too.
You couldn't have said it better. In my eyes, it's a snowball, right? Of I feel this way, which leads me to feeling this way, which now I feel this way, and now like I'm so in my head, and it's just crazy. But I totally agree. I mean, I'm gonna go back as far as pregnancy. So when I'm thinking about how my body, our intimate relationship has changed, pregnancy, it was not it for me. I know some women, they're like raring to go during pregnancy, not for me. I was swollen, things hurt, and that was the beginning of the snowball. It's now become very transactional. We're talking through logistics. Are you okay? Is this okay? And I'm not even just talking physical. I'm talking emotional too, where it was all around my emotions and my hormones and you're not listening to me. I mean, it was just so much. It went from just like, right, this free couple of just living our best lives to now so much red tape around everything. And then obviously we deliver. And then it's another few months of don't look at me. You know what I mean? Like and they know that. Well, at least I hope they do. But I know women are gonna listen to this and disagree with me, and that's fine. This is not about me trying to prove a point or say like this is what it is. This was just my experience. So now, right, you're like we're a year into now this kind of getting a little bit awkward, a little clunky, as we Chris and I like to say. It feels clunky. There was this shift for me as a woman, right? We are conditioned to look at our bodies as these sexual creations, like our breasts, our curves. So it's very objectified. And when I had Leo, I could no longer look at my body that way. I'm like, these breasts aren't sexy. They're food for my child. They're filling up with milk. It was such a mind fuck for me. I had a vaginal delivery. This was the birth canal for my child. Like, I brought him into the world. So to now just like switch my brain back to like, oh, that's supposed to be the sexual part of you. It felt so disjointed. It was almost like an identity shift, but just within my body. So then that was a whole nother layer. And I'm so in my head because I know all of this to be true. And I'm like, okay, make sure I'm not being super awkward. Make sure I'm confident. And it just became this logistical nightmare. And so it took a lot of work to get ourselves out of that funk and, like, really try to go back to the basics and just let go of the pressure, let go of the expectations, because ultimately that is what haunted me. Oh my god, I'm not like I used to be. Like, I'm different. Of course he's gonna be disappointed. Like, why wouldn't he be disappointed? And then starts that whole other, mental spiral of am I good enough? Is he gonna look elsewhere? And granted, that's my anxiety and all of that speaking. But in those moments, it could get away from you.
Resonate very much with that. And I don't even think, like, has to be related to anxiety. I know that at points, that's where I was getting to too, and it is. I think it's so unfair, the pressure that is
Yeah.
maybe it's society's pressures that are put or taught to us as women, and I wonder if, thinking back, was any of this shaped in your childhood or
Yeah.
through watching your parents?
I definitely think that's a part of it. For what it's worth, never really remember seeing a lot of intimate moments between my parents. Like it was just kind of how I was describing myself at the beginning, very transactional. There was love there, but nobody was grabbing anybody and slow dancing in the kitchen and talking about how beautiful or how handsome the other one looked. So I really didn't get exposed to. The only thing I saw were movies and TV shows and freaking what's that lady? I know for a fact you're not gonna know who I'm talking about. Somebody will. It's this lady, this old white lady that had a sex show. Do you remember the Oxygen Channel?
Yes.
Okay. It was on the Oxygen Channel, and it was, like, late night with, like, Sue or Barb. I cannot remember, it's gonna drive me insane.
What a name.
Sex with Sue Johnson. Is that what it was called? Wait, I gotta look it up. Sex with Sue? Yes! Sue Johansson! Sue Johansson, that's what it was. Anyway, okay, I feel better. I can sleep again. I think movies and TV shows are extremely inaccurate and extremely misleading. Bridgerton's 365. So you're like, oh, okay, like as a woman, I should be raring to go all the time. I need to please my husband. I need to, be this sexual deviant. But it's like on the inside, I'm like, but I don't want to. I'm tired. I just want a foot rub and I want to go to bed. Was it similar for you growing up?
Yes. Again, to your point, you could sense the love, but my parents did not do a lot of PDA. Like, I don't think I
Yeah.
ever saw them holding hands. They would, give each other a quick kiss goodbye when they were running out the door. And it wasn't really talked about. And it seemed like public displays of affection are over the top or too much. That's kind of the belief system then I took on of like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm not gonna get curious. This is the way it is, and you shouldn't explore or any of those things. So I think, yeah, it did me a big disservice if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And I think I still am in a place of trying to kind of figure out where I want to live and model this behavior for my own kids, because
Mhm.
I want them to see us being affectionate and loving each other and
Yeah.
understanding what a partnership truly looks like, and modeling the behavior that I hope they'll then take on in their own relationships. And I agree completely with the internet and TV, and I think there was probably a lot of shame in my early years around, well, I don't either understand, or that's not what it's like, or what's
Mhm.
wrong with me, or a lot of questioning that happened.
I think that's really something that probably affects a lot of people, myself included. And going back to kind of like TV and expectations, it reminds me of when we talk about couples counseling, right? You hear couples counseling, you're like, whoa, they got some problems. They're headed for divorce. It's the same to me when we talk about intimacy. My husband and I, we make time for each other every night, or we're physically intimate 3 times a week. And if you're not, then you're just like, "Oh my god, are we fucked? What is wrong with us? Or did are we not happy?" The list
Yeah.
goes on. And so there is so much expectation, I think, from society, but every couple is different. Everybody's life is different. And going back to the very first thing we talked about, what is intimacy? It doesn't always have to be physical. Chris and I just started these new things. We call them creative nights. He's really been diving back into his art, and it's awesome. And so we both kind of have these side projects that we want to do, but we also want to spend time with each other. So he'll go, "Do you want to have a creative night?" And we'll sit on the couch and he'll work on his art and I'll work on my, project, the pod or whatever I'm trying to do that week. And we'll put on a show, competition show that's kind of like an easy watch. And that is connecting for us. It's so yeah, maybe you can sit there and say, I have sex with my husband 4 days a week. Well, you know what? I have creative nights with my husband 3 days a week, and it does the same thing for us. It's apples and oranges, and so
Yes.
I guess I just wanna start having an open conversation about it's not black and white. It doesn't look the same for everybody. What it means for you isn't maybe not what it means for me, and we, as in me, need to start living more comfortably within this is our relationship. We make the rules. It doesn't matter, what we're quote unquote supposed to do.
That's great advice because I think going back to just the manufactured piece, it sucks that you have to plan and be intentional. And yeah, maybe it is something else on your list of to dos, but it's also one of the most important things you should be focused on and doing because at the end of the day, you're a partnership, you're a team. And I feel like there's also actually research that shows intimacy, be it physical touch or whatever it may be, like is it releases endorphins. Like it's actually
Yes.
physically, mentally good for your overall well-being. And
I
so
know.
that alone you need to make time. And I think the other piece is like having those hard conversations with your partner. Like it is awkward. And I'm sure when you've been in a relationship with someone, like the last thing you want anything to feel is awkward. But
Sure.
it's like building a muscle. Like it's
Yeah.
repetition, like it's going to take time and you're at the end of the day going to learn how to be more vulnerable with each other. You're going to learn how to be more direct. Like the outcome is going to be very much worth it. And I think if I look back at our relationship pre-kids to our relationship now, how we define intimacy is a lot different and what I consider kind of our intimate moments is so different. But at the same time, I think there's something to be celebrated about being able to be truly vulnerable with each other where, I look pre-kids and it's like, we weren't having these conversations. We weren't sharing our actual needs. It was,
Yeah.
again, there was surface level components of it. And I think building on that foundation in the long run is going to get you to such a better place. But yeah, the seasons are going to ebb and flow. And
Yes.
we're in one of those seasons right now.
Maddie, I'm gonna really need you to step up your TV game because there are so many references that I want to bring up where I'm like, oh yeah, like in this show and in this show. So whatever. That's another topic for another day.
Okay.
But I agree with you where it wasn't about my needs early on in the relationship at all. I was like, how can I make this guy like me? How can I make him happy? How can I surprise him? How can I be spontaneous? And check, right? Guy likes me. Now, 10 years later, 10 years later, I'm like, what are you doing for me? And I'm laughing because there's a show, Summer House. It's a reality TV show. And there's an episode where one of the cast, Lindsay, the boyfriend was like, "Hey, will you make me a sandwich?" And she flips out. She's like, "How many sandwiches do you make for me?" But you're right. It is a moment to celebrate that we're safe enough, vulnerable enough to feel like we can put our needs not maybe always ahead, but at least prioritize them as much as we're prioritizing our partner's needs. One other thing that came to mind that I just learned in therapy because just in life, my executive function lately has been awful. So basically, anything I don't want to do, I cannot convince myself to do it. And let me tell you, there's a lot of things I don't want to do these days: laundry, cleaning. So it's been really hard. So I was talking to Debbie about it, and she's like, "Look, whatever the feeling you're trying to avoid, let's say, you don't want to do this thing because it's boring or because like working out, because it requires, physical exertion. The more you avoid it, when you finally do it, it's going to feel that feeling you were trying to avoid, it's going to feel 10 times more prominent.
Mm.
The more you do something, the easier it becomes. And it sounds so simple. And I love what you said about it's flexing a muscle because I think that's exactly what, Debbie was saying. So just keep that in mind next time you're trying to avoid something. Maybe just doing it is actually going to help you in the long run.
Love that piece of advice. Discipline. I know it's so hard when there are kids involved to make time. And I love that you guys are having your joy nights where you're off duty and you're getting time to yourselves. And then you have your creative nights where you're coming together. I think that's such an important point, both of those things, because you're filling your cup, but then you're collectively filling kind of each other's cups as well. And one of the recommendations we got was once a week, you should be planning. You don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Like, you should just be planning intentional time together. And I think to your point, you're exhausted by the end of the day. It's so easy to just sit next to each other and doom scroll. And you think that you're giving your mind a mental break, but you're actually creating all this extra, stress and addiction and like it's all consuming that if you just put the phones away and intentionally spend time with one another, she was like, one of your nights should be just building like an at-home date night jar. And then you don't have to think about it. Then you can kind of put it on autopilot where, okay, Thursday's our night. That's our date night at home this week. We're going to play a board game or we're going to play cards or we're going to cook a meal together. You don't have to think about it. I think just like making things as easy
Yeah.
as possible at this point in time is necessary.
I have a couple things to say about that. The first thing is we did something like this similar for our kids. Well, I shouldn't say we did, but we declared that we want to. It
Okay.
was it was like a rainy weekend and I go, "What are we gonna do all weekend?" And that stresses me out. So I said, "Chris, why don't we make a list of things in the area, rainy day things, outdoor things, expensive things, free things." And I'm laughing because it's like we're like, "Yeah, let's do that but it's so hard to do that just for our relationship, you know?" And so
Yeah.
I want to challenge myself to put as much effort, if not more, put as much effort into our relationship and nurturing that and giving our relationship as much attention and research and intent as I do for my kids. There is also, have you ever heard of the Adventure Challenge? The scratch off book.
Ooh. No.
So there's a scratch off book. It's called I believe it's the Adventure Challenge, and there's a couples edition, and it's all like lottery ticket type, scratch off things. And so you pick a category or you pick, like in home or like let's go out. So you kind of know what you're picking. And then
Yeah.
you scratch it off and then you just do what it says. We have that. We've scratched off like two. It's like, could it be any easier? Like,
Uh,
why is this so hard?
yeah.
But yeah, so I love that in that just a good reminder that we just have to make that effort. We just have to. And it's not a nice to have, it really is a need to have, and I think we should start treating it as such.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think before we get into our joy of the week, our takeaways from this, add in anything you think I'm missing.
Okay.
Intimacy looks different now.
Yep.
That's okay. Let's expand our definition of what intimacy is. Let's schedule time with our partners, even if it feels forced, manufactured, whatever it may be, do it. It is important work. Over communicate. Nobody's our mind reader. You actually
Yes.
need to communicate your needs
Yep.
and vice versa. And try and take the pressure off. Like,
Yep.
as we just talked through, there was so much pressure we were putting on ourselves, even pre kids. Like, why? We don't deserve to carry that type of pressure. We deserve to just be. And that's enough.
You hit them all. One thing I'll add that I don't even know if we blatantly talked about, but something that comes to mind hearing all of this is giving your partner some grace too.
Mm,
Like we're all just trying our best. We're all just out here trying our best. And so like that goes for for our husbands listening to give, us grace and vice versa. But sometimes I think I forget that where I get a little hard on him sometimes and it's like, you know what? He's just a dude in his 30s living for the first time trying to do his best too. So in kind of the same vein as taking the pressure off. Take the pressure off entirely, not just yourself, but you're going through this experience for the first time.
You're so
It's gonna
right.
be clunky. That's my
Yeah.
takeaway. It's gonna be clunky, and that's okay.
Yes. Yes. That's perfect.
Yeah. All right. I am gonna schedule a date night for next week
Yay. That's a
because I
great one.
can't the next 2 nights because of work and stuff, but next week, and you too, we both should. That let's challenge each other to do a even if it's an in-home, after the kids go to bed, date night.
Yes. I like it. We'll
Cool.
report back.
If there's anything I know, it's that you hold me accountable, so I love
Yeah,
it.
well, I didn't hold up my end of the bargain last time, so let's
Eh.
see what my follow through looks like this time.
You're in a better headspace now. You're feeling a little refreshed,
Yes, you're right.
which is actually leads me to ask, was that your joy of the week, or was there something else that really stood out to you?
I'm gonna pick 2 because, yes, I think that was my joy. We got some time to breathe, which was so necessary. My other joy, though, completely unrelated to anything we're talking about today, but I had a parent-teacher conference for Zoe this past week, and it's our first parent-teacher conference, and so they bring, soccer teachers in once a week or biweekly, and they do indoor soccer. And Zoe sits with the teachers, and she doesn't play soccer. And so we get pictures of the whole class playing soccer, and you look in the corner to see if Zoe's, you know, engaging or just hanging out. And so we obviously try to have conversations with her and ask her, like, why don't you want to play? We played in Texas. Is it the teachers? Blah, blah, blah. So she's been telling us that it's a different teacher every time and it makes her nervous. We're like, "Okay, but it's okay to be nervous. Like if as long as you're safe, like you can still try it."
Sure.
And I talked to her teacher and she's like, "Every week there is at least one constant teacher. Like we are not rotating new teachers." So I'm like, "This girl is fibbing." So I was like, "You know what? I'm going to push her a little bit." And so we had a conversation cuz we've done this before, but I was like, "Zoe, I don't think we can sit during soccer anymore." I was like, "I know you're nervous, but we need to try anyway. And you're going to be so brave. And I know you can do it. And let's just try it out." And so I'm glad I had the conversation with the teacher because she reinforced this at school as well.
Yeah.
I got pictures of her playing soccer. She was kicking the ball, she was upright in all of the pictures, doing the damn thing.
Yay!
And she got home and I made a huge deal about it. I was like, "You were so brave. You should be so proud of yourself." I was like, "What was the best part of your day today?" And she was like, "Soccer. I can't wait to
Oh,
play next week." And then she follows it up
Maddie!
and she goes, "I was nervous, but I tried and it was fun." I know.
Oh, but you crushed that parenting moment.
I did. I like felt
Yes.
good. I was like,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Oh my god, wow, you must have just been beaming with pride. Good for you, good for her. That is it right there. That's what I think everything we talk about comes down to is this. You validated,
Yeah.
you were a safe space, but you pushed her a little bit, and when you did push her, guess what? She had the time of her life. So, I mean, brava,
Thank
brava.
you. Thank you.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I kind of have 2 also, but one is a quick anecdote because it was just made me smile. So we have a new pediatrician now that we're here in Illinois, and so it was Leah's 4-year checkup, which is crazy, and this woman walks in, and I swear to you, she's Mrs. Doubtfire. Please tell me you've seen Mrs.
Yes.
Doubtfire.
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
okay. She's Mrs. Doubtfire. She has an accent. Leo is petrified of getting shots. The first thing he's like, "Am I getting shots?" And she's like, "Oh, no, but I just got the little baby ones. Listen, oh no, I get you, not be creep." Like, it was just incredible. It was just the best. And what I think I liked about her was that she was a little bit tough with him. She's like, Leo, if you want to be my patient, you have to eat vegetables. You have to eat what mama makes you. No more special meals. Okay? And he was like, okay. Like it was good. I was smiling thinking to myself, wow, you are an awesome pediatrician. I haven't had anybody like this in a while, but it's like because of her European accent, it just worked. You know what I
Yes.
mean? If she was American, I'd be like, you're a bitch. I'd be like,
Yes.
Tasty. So that's just one thing that kind of brought me joy. But the big thing of the week was so it was Leo's birthday. And every night at bedtime, he's always like, I don't want to be alone. I wish somebody would sleep with me. Will you stay in my room? Da 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 da. And so for whatever reason, months ago, I was like, how about this? How about for your birthday, I'll sleep in your room? And he was like, all night? And I was like, all night. And so it's kind of one of those like, this is a few months from now's problem. Like, I don't have to worry about this. Well, alas, we arrived at Leo's birthday. And so we had a sleepover. And it was not the most comfortable. I slept like shit. I woke up a bunch of times. But the joy on this child's face of me just literally sleeping in his room, like the giggles, because I ended up he's a twin bed, so I ended up sleeping on a nugget mattress on the floor. I was like, I'm not even going to attempt to try and co-sleep. He was like, okay, mama. And, we were like looking up. I was looking up at him. He was looking down at me. When I close my eyes, you have to close your eyes. And when I open my eyes, you have to open your eyes. And when I take a drink of water, you have to take a drink of water. And I was like, okay. And he was like, okay, I'm drinking the water. And then I like get my water, like, okay. And then he was like, it was so cute because he's, remember his cozy blanket? The cozy pillow, the cozy blanket, was pride and joy. He gets out of bed and he puts it on me and he's like, here, mama, I want you to have my cozy blanket. And he tucked me in and it was just, it is one of those core memories of, that's not obviously something that's comfortable for me or it's not something that I was amped about, right? But the amount of joy that I brought to Leo in just such a small action of just sleeping over in his room. And he knew it was a special thing, right? This isn't going to happen every night. He goes, Mom, can we do this every birthday? And I was like, sure, let's do it every birthday. He's like, can we do it for other people's birthdays too? I see what you're doing. No,
Yeah.
sorry, kiddo, just yours. But I even said to Chris, I go, next year, like maybe we go to a hotel. Like maybe we go down into the city and then have like because it's right for him. It's just about being with his people. It's nothing more than that. And so it was really cute. And I felt really happy that I did it and just seeing the joy that I brought to him brought a lot of joy to me. So
That's very sweet. I know I was
Yeah.
saying you are a much better mom than I because that is the last thing I think I would
don't know.
be able to do.
I don't know. Wait till Parker one day is like, Mommy, will you please just sleep in my room with me? And you're going to be like, those boys had me wrapped around their fingers. I would literally do anything for them. Chris is probably like, must be nice.
Yeah. But we're going to work on that.
We are, because Chris, you are important to me, and I love you.
I love it.
As always, loved going into another topic of a life that we're still trying to figure out. Glad I'm doing it with you.
Likewise, we'll hold each other accountable and see how it goes.
See you next week. Bye.
And that concludes your free therapy session, brought to you by two people with lots of opinions and zero certifications. Don't forget to bill your insurance, emotionally or otherwise. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at GraceWhoPod. That's Grace, WHO Pod.
Tune in next time for another deep dive into something we'll probably overthink and under-resolve. And while our search for grace continues, let's at least try to find a little joy in between.